I'm Whitney.
And I'm Melissa,
We are podcast addicts,
obsessed with true crime,
winos,
boy moms.
and both live in Texas.
We met about 2 years ago and became best friends almost instantly.
When we both discovered our obsession with true crime and all that it encompasses.
And we decided to bring our love for podcasts and wine to you.
Season 1 will take us on a state-by-state journey as we discuss the atrocities around America.
We will be covering everything from cults to kidnappings
to murder and all that falls in between.
This is Cults, Crimes, and Cabernet. Twice. So now the case, it's pretty recent. And it was a quadruple murder. All right. And it was of the owner and employees of the RJR Management and Maintenance Company. All right. So there was Robert Fackler, who was the owner. Then we have, oh my gosh, these names. Adam Fuher, and then Bill and Louis Cobb. All right. They were husband and wife. All of them were murdered inside of the RJR building. And this happened on August 1st, 2019. So it hasn't even been 2 years. So very, very recent case. All right. So these were 4 community-driven people that were murdered in their workplace. And this wasn't like when we think of multiple people being murdered in a workplace, we assume like, okay, one of the employees got angry. Like we've had cases like this in the before, and they go on like a shooting rampage or something like that. Like this didn't happen in this case. These people were shot and stabbed. 3 of them were shot and stabbed. 1 was just stabbed. So to me, this is like a very, very personal situation. This is a personal vendetta in my mind. You typically stab someone. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like stabbing is a very personal way to kill somebody. And it's almost always, from what I understand anyway, now I am not a crime expert by any means. I just am obsessed with true crime things. But every time they talk about stabbing, they talk about how it is a sexual in nature type of killing, a type of murdering, because of the penetrating factor of it. That it's just very personal.
It's very personal. I'm right there with you. I definitely think it's a very personal. You have to be up close. You have to have some anger towards that person. It's not like if you just wanted them dead just because you wanted them dead, you would just shoot them and be done with it. I feel definitely like stabbing is something personal. So anyways, so a day after the murder, so of course this is a small town, they're found early in the morning. Investigation goes along. Police do their first oh my gosh, what is it called? When they do their
interrogation,
when they talk to the media in the town. It's
press
called press conference type of thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So they did their first press conference that next day. So this would be April 2nd, 2019. And all they stated was like, okay, who the victims were. They listed, hey, we have 4 murder victims. And they did state, hey, they were murdered. It wasn't like anything else. That's all they said that first day. About 2 days later, at the next press conference, they came out and they named a suspect, and that suspect had been arrested. Like, yes, I am like, holy moly, to get it done that quickly. Exactly. If all murder investigations could be this quick, it would be insane. So they arrested a man by the name of Chad Isaac. Okay, so he was a resident of the town of Washburn, which is about 45 minutes away from where the murders took place in Mandan. So this was 4 days after the murders. This guy had been arrested, charged, everything with these murders. he didn't work there. It wasn't like, you know how like sometimes domestic violence situations, like, you know who did it right away. There's witnesses, it's a family altercation, you know. When it's something kind like as random as this seems, they usually don't have their murderer this, or their suspect this quick. So that's definitely a little like, he must have been the shittiest murderer ever.
Yeah, had to have been.
Yeah, because to be caught that quick. So of course this did just happen in 2019. So this is an ongoing investigation. So most details.
So he literally had to have walked in and been like, here's my hair, here's my fingerprints, here's all my DNA, come find me.
Exactly. There has to be some major evidence against this dude. Like, so I was thinking, and I say this a little bit down in my notes, but like, there has to be actually like video surveillance. They would have never had time to get DNA or even fingerprints really back, maybe fingerprints. DNA, no. So they had to have had some video evidence of this. That's the only thing that I can think of that they could have possibly had to get him this quickly.
Unless he was like legit standing in the middle of the room being like, yo, it was me. I don't see how they got it that quick either.
Yeah, no, he doesn't confess. He says he's not guilty. Like, he's never confessed.
Okay.
So yes. Ongoing investigation, details, evidence has not really been released. What's really against him, because he hasn't even actually went to trial yet. It's because of COVID. It's about to happen, but hasn't yet. So he Chad Isaac is actually a chiropractor, which just kind of, I don't know why that shocks me when like educated people like a murder really stupidly. But
so what that tells me is that he's aware of anatomy.
Yes, exactly. So that's why these stab victims, because and we've been in a situation where I'm like, if we get stabbed, like, I don't feel like I'm going to die if I get stabbed. But all 4 of these people died from, well, either a gunshot wound or the other one just was stabbed. So he had to have known where to stab in order. I mean, people have been stabbed like 80 times and don't die.
True.
Yeah. So
it always depends on where it hits inside.
Exactly. So the really only link between this guy and RJR is that they managed, so their property management company, they managed the mobile home park where he lived. So I don't know if that's going to come out to be a motive. Possibly, maybe he was evicted. Like, he's a chiropractor. Like, I don't know about you guys. I've been to a chiropractor. They charge us an arm and a leg. Like, they should have some money.
Right.
Especially for a mobile home. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, we don't pay less than $200 an office visit for the chiropractor. So I wish I could go more often.
Right. I wonder if it's something though, like he has a lot of medical bill or student loans or
school debt. Yes.
Because you have to be a chiropractor. Right, you're in school longer to be a chiropractor than a regular doctor.
Yeah, right now, no motive has been like nothing has been released at all about motive.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chad is currently awaiting trial. And of course, because of COVID, it hasn't been a speedy trial. I mean, I don't know what, I never think any of these trials are speedy. And I'm not even in jail waiting to have mine, but they go like a year or 2 before they get on trial. To me, that's not speedy. Can we not get these so long? So he's been in jail quite a long time. But I mean, if he did this, then who really gives a shit? But so this is going to be a little bit of an interesting part. So Chad's lawyers are obviously trying to get evidence thrown out, which of course, if you have a decent lawyer, they're going to try to get evidence thrown out. The evidence that they want thrown out are everything that they searched in his car. Okay, so they say they didn't have, his defense lawyers say the police officers did not have probable cause to search his vehicle. Okay, so then like they're saying if you couldn't search his vehicle, you wouldn't have had this evidence, so you shouldn't have been able to search his house. You shouldn't have been able to search his person. So they're trying to, of course, to get every single bit of that evidence thrown out.
How did he get arrested?
He got pulled over. Okay, so they had surveillance videos of him getting into his truck. It was like a white truck. They knew what kind it was. They had a couple of witnesses. They knew it was him. They pulled him over. The state states they say they either had a search warrant or got permission from him to search anything they had. Actually had a 6-page report because as a law enforcement officer you have to write out that report to submit to get a search warrant. So they said they have a 6-page report done of why they should be able to search his vehicle that they sent to the judge. So if this is true, then of course they had every right to search his vehicle.
Yeah. So they pulled him over. They arrested him when they pulled him over. They did not search his vehicle then. They filled out the report, then searched the vehicle when it was in impound. So, I'm trying to follow the timeline. I'm sorry.
I know. No, you're fine. They already had him as a suspect. So I think they were already working on the search warrant before they even pulled him over. They pulled him over directly knowing that he was a murder suspect.
Okay. So so they had like a bolo out on him.
Exactly. Okay. They knew this was the guy they wanted for this. Now you think about it, you stab 4 people to death and then you jump into your truck and you drive away. There's going to be blood 99% of the time. It's messy. You're not going to get away.
There's no way there is 100% clean. No way. Unless you have unless you're Dexter. Maybe if you're Dexter.
No. Yes. I can't make cookies without getting it all over me. I couldn't imagine anything else.
I can't do anything without getting it on me.
Exactly. I was like today, I'm like, oh, I can't wear a white shirt. I'm cleaning, I'm cooking because I know it will get on me. So I don't know. I have no evidence of what they found in his vehicle. Obviously, it was something that his lawyers want removed. So that's back and forth. I don't know if this is just a tactic by his defense lawyers that are like, hey, trying to get anything they can possibly get removed before the trial starts. And I'm all for that. That's what that attorney, if he's a good defense attorney, that's what he should be doing. Even if no chance in hell of getting that taken away, that's still what he should be doing. So okay, so great. Yes. So that's what they're doing. They're also trying to court a change of venue. Of course, they don't think that that he'll have a fair trial in that county. Of course, the state is like, no, we have a right to try him in the county that he did it. Nothing has been decided. That was at the last hearing, which was just a couple of months ago. So nothing of either of those have been decided yet.
Okay.
Yes. So, but just think, is evidence, like just go with me down this rabbit hole really quickly.
I'm following you.
If this evidence did get, like, let's say the law enforcement did do this search when they weren't supposed to, and this evidence gets thrown out, like, it is going to be very difficult to convict this dude. And these are 4 people's lives. Like, it's crazy that there are these loopholes. It's crazy that there's these loopholes, but then it's also good because sometimes, so many innocent people get wrongly convicted. So you definitely need these loopholes. It's like a catch-22. It interests, the whole law, the case part of it, the jury trial, that all fascinates me like crazy.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was 9 and I wanted to be a lawyer like crazy. And my parents were like, oh, you argue so much. You should be. This is what we say to Levi right now. Like, because he argues.
Oh, he should totally be a lawyer.
He could plead his case.
He'll find the loophole and everything.
Oh, the loophole. Yeah. And he's such a manipulator. Oh my gosh, he should be a lawyer. If he could do that much school, he should. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at with that. Very, very not really weird turn of events, but something abnormal that happened. So Chad Isaac, he's about to be on trial for these murders. Okay, so during one of the hearings, though, he asked to speak to the judge directly and privately. Okay, he's literally, I'm going to read word for word in a minute. Like his lawyers told him, like, no, don't do this. You don't need to have a conversation with the judge. Whatever you say to the judge can't be held against you. So we would recommend you not do this. And he's like, no, I need to speak to the judge. And let me tell you his verbatim, what he said, because this is just, it's weird to me. Okay. He said, so he's talking to the judge during court. And he says, they do not want me to say a word, and that's why I'm bringing this up to you myself, sir. He said, I've waited patiently for 15 months in isolation jail cell. And with all due respect, I don't think asking you for 5 minutes of your undivided attention so I can do that is an unreasonable request, sir. I'm like...
The balls on this dude.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, I don't know why. Judges, probably more than anyone, I'm a little intimidated of. Yeah. And the fact that he's just like, but I feel like you should be. You owe me like this time. You should be. I feel
like you should be intimidated by judges because your life hangs in their hands. Well, theirs and the jury, but still, you should respect them.
And they're prominent. Like they've worked so hard to get to where they're at, and they have this place of power, essentially. And he's just like, you owe me 5 minutes, like, end of story. I agree completely. So I agree this guy isn't a dummy as far as book smart. Like, of course, he has an education. I don't think he's street smart whatsoever. This has to be the one of the shittiest quadruple murders that ever took place. If they caught him within 3 days. End of story. So yeah, no motive has been reported. I'm really dying to know why this guy would just decide to do this. Like, I just, yes, obviously it's, well, the state's narrative, like what they think of why he did this, will come out during the case, of course, which might be true, might not. You know, they just do the narrative that will fit their agenda the best.
Of course. But, well, I mean, that's their purpose.
Want to hear more? Go to any podcast platform. That's Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and you can hear the rest of this episode.